If you happen to be on Instagram today, take a break from scrolling through dog pictures and check out the hashtag blessed. There you will find literally 142 million posts ranging wildly from being with one's family to getting a job promotion, from healing from a terrible illness to showing off new renovations in a giant house. Apparently, there are a lot of people who feel blessed in our world, which on the surface is great. While there are certainly some life choices represented that are a bit peculiar to me, and some of the posts are just doing it for the attention and to show off, I get that. I also recognize that when most people tag their photos with the hashtag blessed, what they're saying is that they're thankful, that they're proud of what they have, and in many cases, want to give credit to God. That desire is always a good thing. And yet, every time I see that hashtag, every time I hear someone say that they're blessed because of the great things in their life, I cringe a little bit. It makes me feel uncomfortable, even angry at times. I know that sounds crazy. Most of these people are happy and thankful and just want to share that with the world, and I try to focus on that. But there's something about it that's just off. What we almost always find in posts like these is that the word blessed is really just a stand-in for I have everything I want and I'm completely content. It's a way of saying life is good, and I know it's good because look how happy I am. Look at all the stuff I have. Look at how little I suffer. Maybe it's just me, but when you put it in those terms, equating having nice things with being in God's favor, something is clearly amiss. We know that many people have great families, beautiful homes, well-paying jobs, and good health without any care for God or the kingdom of heaven. Some even possess these things precisely because they have chosen to live fundamentally against God's intentions, by cheating their neighbor, attacking their enemy, and ensuring that society continues to benefit them over others. While I definitely don't deny the fact that God cares for his people and often lavishly bestows gifts upon them that we do not deserve, there's definitely a sense that many use God language to dress up a life defined by earthly values, concerned with money, concerned with comfort, concerned with worldly success. The other side of it is even more absurd. If earthly happiness is in fact a sign of God's favor with us, we should necessarily conclude that people without these things, the poor, the sick, the lonely, are not blessed, which is a complete contradiction of Jesus' own words. Remember the beatitudes. Remember how he defines a life that is truly blessed. In Matthew 5 and in Luke 6, he shows that it has nothing to do with good health or happy life, nothing to do with stuff we have or opportunities we're given. Quite the opposite, actually. When Jesus speaks of those who are blessed, he mentions the poor, those who mourn, the meek, the hungry, the merciful, the pure of heart, the peacemakers, and the persecuted. When was the last time you saw someone on Instagram say, "Haven't eaten in 2 days, hashtag blessed," or "Grandma just died, don't know what I'm gonna do with myself, hashtag blessed"? No, that doesn't happen. It doesn't happen because these are not blessings for the world. They're afflictions. They're things that the world does not want, things that people avoid at all costs. They are the antithesis of a blessed life because for most people, being blessed and having earthly happiness are synonymous. For Jesus, the focus is completely different. To be blessed has everything to do with our place in God. Like being holy, it is a way of saying that we are close to God, that we have been set apart from the profane nature of the world, that we enjoy a taste of the kingdom of heaven in the here and now. This is not to say that the kingdom of heaven is marked by affliction or that God wants us to suffer. Again, this is focusing too much with our earthly values. The key to the Beatitudes, the reason that the poor, the meek, and persecuted are blessed, isn't due to the affliction itself, but because of the faithfulness amidst the affliction, the hope that pervades even sorrow, the love that only grows when it is rejected, the way that affliction turns us closer to God and makes us more like Him. Jesus is not saying that these afflictions are good or desirable in themselves. He's saying that they enable greater dependence on God, that they inspire empathy in our neighbor, and that they focus our attention on what really matters. In other words, they help us become more dedicated to the life of the gospel and on our way to the kingdom of heaven. This is a completely different mindset than what we often see on Instagram. Even though most of the posts come from a place of thanksgiving, which, as I've said, is great, they still represent a definition of blessing wrapped up in the values of the world that see stuff in and of itself as a sign of favor with God, a measure of a good life. This has to change, and it can. by studying the Beatitudes, reading the words of the prophets, by praying with the words of Jesus, by living more closely to the values of the gospel with our attention intently focused on what God wants, not what the world wants. Thanks for watching, everyone. By now, you've probably seen my announcements throughout social media, maybe even saw last week's video, but I want to remind you again that I have just written a book on this very subject, and I want you to have it. The book is called The Way of Beatitude: Living Radical Hope in a World of Division and Despair, and while it retails for about $16 once released, I am giving away 1,000 free copies over the next month. If you'd like to enter, just click the link in the description and follow the directions.